I just streamed 40 hours in a row attempting to install my own flooring. Let me tell you about it.
While my apartment was being painted, they accidentally popped a hose in my laundry room, causing the flooring to be damaged. And instead of letting my insurance company fix the damaged area, I decided to take the money to buy enough flooring to redo my entire apartment. Never having done this before, I struggled with back pain, a 101-degree fever, and an injury so bad that I wasn't even allowed to show it on stream.
Oh, fuck that. Oh, dude, I cut my hand wide open.
The biggest issue I ran into was facing a mental barrier that has been one of my biggest fears in front of my largest Twitch audience ever. This 40-hour marathon ended up being so physically demanding, I wasn't even sure if I could complete it. But I should give you some context about the apartment. My wife and I had bought it back in the summer of 2022, and the building was 18 years old and still had the original carpet. We had always talked about wanting to redo the flooring, but we never had the disposable income to do it. Fast forward to 2024, and my work had actually paid to get my apartment painted for a project, and unfortunately, the painters moved the washing machine and popped the cold line hose off, which caused the flooding. After drying it and getting my insurance to look at it, they determined that they would want to hire a company to come out in order to repair the affected area. The problem was the quote was $4,000 for the tiniest little area. So I simply asked in an email, hey, could I just take the money and do it myself? The next thing I know, the $4,000 was in my account and I didn't really have a choice anymore. And then I thought to myself, why don't I just stream this? I hadn't really seen other people do these construction style DIY streams before, and I wasn't sure if it was the type of content that would do well on Twitch. So I had to come up with an incentive. Everyone who gifted 5 subs in my chat, I would write a message on the underside of the board as I installed it. It was kind of a funny thought that maybe in like 20 years, if someone comes by and rips the flooring up, it's just got like funny coordinates or something. I don't know. It came back to bite me in the butt. And the stream started at 7 p.m. on a Friday. And right away, it was already off to a good start. I average about 80 viewers on Twitch now, but within the first 30 minutes, I was at 120. Now, since I had never done flooring installation before, I did do some pre-work just before the stream. The carpet, the tack strips, as well as some of the baseboards had all been removed just so I could focus on laying the flooring down. It didn't save me much time. It took me 40 minutes to get one plank down. Which I know sounds bad, and it kind of is, but the problem is the first board sets the tone for the rest of the installation. If that one board is crooked, the rest of them stack, and it adds up over time. But once that board was down, we trucked along, and after 1 hour of streaming, I had 2 boards down. We are speeding up. Listen, I know I wasn't gonna be good at this, but in my defense, I was also getting support like I had never seen before. I gained 50 subs very quickly, meaning I had to write 10 messages on the boards already. And I was still in my traditional streamer brain. I was busy trying to read chat and trying to entertain, so much so that it was causing me to fall further and further behind. But eventually, thankfully, this chatter, Pure Murder 420, showed up to kind of refocus me and pull me back on track. It turns out that they had done a bunch of this type of flooring installation in the past, so when they noticed that I was getting stuck on certain parts and the next row, they actually helped me get through this. Because you see, LVP, which is the type of flooring that I'm actually using, is tricky to install, but it's not hard, if that makes sense. It's designed to click and lock into place with one another, and it takes some practice to get the feel about how they line up and slot in. And unfortunately, if you aren't careful, those end pieces are brittle and can break off. I ended up breaking way more boards than I'd like to admit, just because I wasn't careful of where my legs were or if I tripped on one of the boards, which started to make me really, really nervous because I didn't know if I was going to have enough flooring. Normally you buy 5 to 10% extra for doing a project like this, and thankfully I did, but that extra takes into account all the weird cuts you might do and the off pieces, not some dumbass just breaking boards all willy-nilly. But I did start to get the hang of it, and after 2 hours, we had 2 rows done, which was about 6 boards total, baby. But that gave me a really solid foundation in order to actually bang out the next few rows really quick, until I ran into this corner. We were about 4 hours into this stream, which was about 11 p.m. at night, and this was the first board that I actually had to take a notch out of the board, not just do a clean cut. See, the single clean cuts up to this point were easy. You just score with a razor blade and snap over your knee. But because I hadn't done this type of board yet, even just the measuring process started to really stress me out.
Okay. Cool. Whew, sorry, I actually did kind of have like an anxiety attack there, so I was a little worried. I know it was just as simple as marking a pencil, but... Oh, okay.
And yeah, it's kind of dumb, but I was struggling on the verge of a panic attack. And looking back at it, I think it was just a combination of several things. Number one, I started to realize I was not going to get as much done as I originally wanted. I had originally pitched this stream as doing my entire apartment in one weekend, which led me into reason two. I felt like I was letting down my chat. I wasn't going to accomplish what many of them had come out for, or what many of them had bought boards for. I had gained over 200 subs at this point. If I couldn't lay the boards faster, I wasn't going to be able to honor writing the names down for everyone. I tried to make this clear to my chat. I let them know, hey guys, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to complete this weekend. And while everyone in chat was saying they were okay with it, my brain wasn't. I actually got really upset that I decided to call it a night and try to sleep it off, which concluded day one. 4 hours worth of building, and I was 2% done the whole apartment. The only positive thing I could say so far is, my God, I slept like a baby. I normally get about 2 to 4 hours of sleep a night, but this night I got a whopping 6 hours. That's how I knew I was really tired. But I woke up feeling pretty good, full of energy, ready to take on the day. And for most of day two, you'll notice I actually decided to stop wearing the knee pads. See, they actually pinched the back of my knees, which caused these really uncomfortable blisters. And that pain hurt more than just kneeling. So before you comment down below why I wasn't wearing knee pads, that's why. I started off the day by making that scary cut, which I tried not to let get to my head, especially based on how I acted the night before, and I fucking nailed it. As long as you don't look too close, just wait till I install the baseboards. And now I was on the easiest part of the apartment. The biggest room, laying down several full-length boards for about 14 feet. And I was ready to make up some ground.
Oh, fucking just dead. Oh, dude, I cut my hand wide open. Don't look.
If it looks like I kind of underreacted there, I did. It's because I actually killed all feeling in the tip of this finger, because I ended up slicing off the tip of it with that hit. Well, you're probably wondering how I cut off the tip of my finger with a mallet. Well, you see, this is a tapping block, which has edges on the side that are supposed to catch the floor as you hammer it into place. And it's double-sided depending on which type of flooring you're using. So when it was down and I was hammering, I had my hand rested against the sharp edge here. And unfortunately, when I slightly missed that swing, it caused my finger to glide over this edge. I ran to the bathroom and it was gushing blood, and I was in a ton of pain.
Oh, fuck.
But thankfully, it didn't actually go to the bone, and I was able to keep a little bit of that skin attached. I was able to fold that skin down over the wound and tape it up just so it would stop bleeding. I debated going to the hospital at this point, mainly because it would have been a great excuse to get out of doing any more of this stream, since my back was also killing me at this point. But unfortunately, I decided to do the toxic man thing and just power through. My desire for this flooring stream to be awesome was outweighing the acknowledgement that my body wasn't built for this. And I just really didn't want to admit defeat. So I continued to make progress, laying down strips really quickly, and even got to the next point of laying down another sheet of underlayment. This is like a noise absorption cushion that goes underneath any sort of vinyl plank flooring or hardwood. The problem is I had to move everything that was in my way in order to do so, including this pile of about 1,000 pounds of extra flooring, which of course didn't help my back at all. And in those couple of hours, including moving everything, I managed to lay down another 15% of my entire apartment. It was much faster than day one. But you'll notice I'm moving pretty slow. My body was aching, and I decided to take my temperature off camera, and I had a fever of 101. See, the day before I went live, the Thursday, I actually started to feel quite sick. I was really not great, and when I took my temperature then, it was a 100-degree fever. So with the increased pain to my body, the sniffles I was fighting, and this fever, It was a wombo combo wombo to my body. Combine that with the tip of my finger fully being dead, meaning I was in a lot of pain, I just kind of collapsed. I just needed to rest. And honestly, the best part and the worst part of the stream was the fact that people started to throw subs at me then. And I got emotional. I'm not going to shy away from that.
I feel very imposter syndrome. Like I don't deserve it. And I just feel terrible. I don't feel like what I'm doing is worthy of people throwing money at me. You know what I mean? I also just like really care about Taylor. And so every time I see subs come in, it's like, hey, maybe I can treat her nice. Maybe I can take her to a date. Something I don't do very often. So like, you know, she's everything I want in life. So this just helps.
The issue I was struggling with was that it felt super unfair that people were supporting and watching me fail. I wasn't even giving them what they had come for. I wasn't gonna complete the apartment. And yet for some reason, people continued to give me an overwhelming amount of support for this. And I don't think I'll ever fully understand it, now or even in the moment. But seeing the support, it did show me that it didn't matter how much I was able to achieve. It showed me that people care how far I was able to progress, which is when I decided to set a new goal.
We're gonna finish this room. We're gonna get this room done, okay? Anything extra is extra. We're gonna get this room done. I'm gonna power through it. We're gonna accomplish this. We need the one song that can inspire us. This is it, boys. We're gonna finish this room.
I really wanted to get this one room done. Not only because it was the biggest room in the apartment, but I was planning a 72-hour Call of Duty Zombies Easter egg stream for Easter weekend. The goal is to beat every single Zombies map in one stream, so go follow me on Twitch if you want to see that. Which meant I had to pull myself together. And after I managed to pull myself together and get over the crying, someone dropped another 100 gifted subs. Which meant I cried more. This brought me to an all-time high of over 1,000 subs on Twitch. I couldn't believe it. And if you're wondering why my chat is spamming MILF, it's because a year ago, I made a one-off joke where I freestyled to a beat and called it MILF Next Door. The MILF next door on the 33rd floor. Can you come on over, baby, to unit 304? I'm baby 17, but you my nicotine. Looking like the cover of a bunny magazine. And I could be your man or your number one fan. Banging out back in the back of my van. Just give me a chance. I'm the king of romance. And I said if I ever hit 1,000 subs, I would make a music video and song.
Because of how amazing this stream has been, before the end of the year, not only will you get a song titled MILF Next Door, there will be a music video.
I'll stick to that promise. By the end of the year, you'll get a music video from me. I'm not gonna promise it's great though. After hitting this absolute peak and with the new goal set, I powered through the rest of day 2, even though I hit a fever of 102. Near the end of the night, we hit quiet hours for my apartment, meaning I wasn't actually allowed to bang on the floor anymore. So I called it, I hit the hay, so that way I could wake up with as much energy as possible. And I'm so happy I got a good rest because my fever went back down under 100 and I was able to bang out the last 2 rows to complete this room.
The living room is complete. With that piece, we have officially rounded into the next part of the house. The living room is complete.
When we did the math, it was found out that I finished 40% of this apartment in about 40 hours. I realize it's not a lot. Many contractors probably would have been able to bang this room out in a couple hours. But fighting through my injuries, my failures, and the relearning my body limits, it reminded me why I fell in love with gymnastics as a kid. If every challenge or task was just handed to you, with no chance to fail, you'll never be able to learn from your mistakes. Or even worse, if you get it on the first try, you don't actually know if that's the best way to accomplish it. It was only by testing, failing, and then retrying that I was able to finish the flooring stream with as much enjoyment as I did. Because I knew that in the end, I was happy with the amount of progress I made, even though I didn't complete it. It just means I need to complete the rest at my own pace. Thanks for watching, gamers.